So when doing all of our unit conversion stuff, we're using these conversion ratios. And so we're multiplying by these weird fractions, things like 4 cups over 1 quart. But why can we just do that? Why can we multiply by some weirdo thing? Because before this, if we were going to multiply by something, it had to be the same on the top and the bottom. It had to be a fraction that was equal to 1, or else it didn't work. Because we did that. I mean, if we wanted to do something like 1/2 plus 1/3, and we wanted to do that math back in, let's do some math that doesn't involve units mode, I could get them on a common denominator by multiplying this by 3 over 3, and this by 2 over 2, and that'd be fair because 3 divided by 3 is 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this clearly is just multiplying it by a form of 1 and doesn't change anything, and I'd get 3 over 6 plus 2 over 6, I'd get 5 over 6. And that's how I can multiply fractions with different denominators. So I'm comfortable with that. I can multiply by 1. I can even multiply by 1 when it's a variable on the top and the bottom when I need to do that. But that's not the same number on the top and the bottom. That's a 4, and that's a 1. And I'm super solid on 4 and 1 being different numbers. I feel like that was made clear to me at a much earlier time in my mathematical career. But we don't just have 4, we have 4 cups. And we don't just have 1, we have 1 quart. So I went into my kitchen and I got this. And this is a liquid measure. Mine's from Pyrex. And what this does is it lets you pour liquid into this pitcher up to a certain amount, which you probably need for a recipe of some kind. And on one side it has liters and milliliters, and on the other side it has customary units. So I'm going to put a piece of paper in here so we can see what's going on a little better and not have to see the metric. If I fill this all the way up to this line here, I have 32 ounces of water, I have 4 cups of water, or I have a quart of water. And I have the same amount of water, no matter whether I'm talking about 1 quart, 32 ounces, or 4 cups. It isn't interesting to the next person. If they don't care whether I gave them 4 cups of water or 1 quart of water, I gave them exactly the same amount of water. So since these are the same, they're different ways of writing exactly the same thing, just like 3 over 3 is 1, 4 cups over 1 quart is 1. And just as true, 1 quart over 4 cups is 1. It doesn't matter which one's on the top and which one's on the bottom. They're both 1. So that's something I choose strategically based entirely on what I'm trying to cancel in my problem. So if I have a situation where I know, I upscaled a recipe quite a bit. Originally, my recipe called for 6 cups of orange juice. And then I decided to double that recipe. And now so I doubled my recipe, so now I would need 12 cups of orange juice. Well, that's a lot. It's already hard to find a container where I can even measure 6 cups, because this is actually the biggest measure I personally have handy. Some people have bigger ones. This is the biggest one I have. So I'm already going to use this more than once with 6 cups. I want to know what it is in quarts, so I can see, because my orange juice probably comes in a container labeled in quarts, and I want to know, can I just dump in the whole thing? How many do I need to buy? All of these questions that might be kind of quart questions. Or maybe it's in ounces and I need to know ounces, but we're going to do quarts for this problem. So I have 12 cups. I want to convert it into quarts. There isn't anything in the bottom of this fraction, so 1 with no particular unit is on the bottom of this fraction. I want to cancel the cups and replace it with quarts. So I put quarts on the top and cups on the bottom. I did that strategically because I want this and this to make a 1. And then I look at my conversions and I notice there is 1 quart and 4 cups. Those are what are the same line on my measure. So they're the same. 1 quart, 4 cups, same amount of juice, same amount of water. So that's 1. So that would be 12 times 1 times cups times quarts over 1 times 4 times cups. And now my cups can cancel. Cups divided by cups would be 1. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 quarts over 4. So 12 over 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'd have 3 quarts. If I needed 12 cups, I would need 3 quarts. And that kind of makes sense. Back just looking at my liquid measure, even if I wasn't particularly comfortable with my math, I can kind of real world check this. This is 4 cups and 1 quart. If I fill this up 3 times, I would have 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3. So I'd have 3 quarts when I have 12 cups. So we can kind of visually double check our thinking because I picked one that came out nicely and used small enough numbers that we could see it. So all you need to do with units is make sure you have the same amount, the same length, the same volume, the same whatever it is on the top and the bottom. And then it's just 1.